obviously we're kind of coming into I'm always optimistic with the spring. We're kind of coming into winter at the moment. But what are you thinking as far as changes in strategy, as far as the spring relative to last? We'll start with you, John.
I think as I mentioned before, I don't think we're going to change much. We're just going to make sure that the product is appropriate for the current market, and that might mean that if we were working on the planning process 6 months ago, it was put on hold during this whole health dilemma that we're the lockdown. We'd reassess the product, the price points to match the market. We'd reassess the incentives, the packaging and the promotion to make sure it's all appropriate and it hits the market. I think also one of the big things that developers have got to understand is time on market is going to be longer. The demand just isn't there that it was 4 months ago, 3 months ago. So I think you've got to allow for that in your marketing budgets.
Your fees.
You can string your projects out over a longer period. I think you need to have some frank discussions with your clients before you go to the market. And I think the frugal agents will look at the marketing budgets and scrutinise them more than they ever have, so they're getting the best results for their customers, the developers. And will also be testing their assumptions before they release their projects to the mass market. So in saying that, going to a sort of hyper-local market to their database and just seeing if their assumptions in terms of product pricing, packaging is correct. I think just going straight into a full-scale marketing campaign without testing the market first and putting your toe in the water is quite naive in the current economic situation we're in. I think testing it makes a lot of sense, and then you've got time to readjust your product, your pricing, your promotion accordingly to the feedback you get, and you set the foundations for a successful launch.
Yeah, we've had a lot of our customers hitting us up recently regarding just kind of benchmarking. What is the search volumes in different areas? How does that relate to price point? Is that meeting the kind of difference, meeting the kind of consumer price point? So I think there's a lot of change and people are looking for answers in the data. What do you think, Paul?
Look, clearly there's pressure on price in terms of what you have available to market. That's apparent not only at the developer level, that's right through. I mean, we need to get, I guess, more efficient in our ways of attracting people and selling. I actually take a positive out of this pandemic, and we've all had to readjust and really reassess how technology works in our life, and how to use it correctly, or how not to use it correctly. So I think that readjustment's going to continue. I think we're going to see a standout with clearly some well thought out and curated campaigns that are predominantly digital. I do believe in a good balanced mix, but clearly digital has a capability that's extended and is usually more cost efficient. So your platform, for instance, is great. It provides that efficiency, yet it still reaches the audience that you intend to attract. So I just think we've got to keep pushing, keep creating things that are, I guess, making it simple. John touched on it, the virtual stuff really can be very daunting and can be a distraction. So keep it simple, keep extending what we already have that we know works well, and keep asking the question, what does the client or the buyer want? Which I guess shifts our focus in terms of how we deliver it to them on a marketing sense. Yeah. So marketing campaigns, I believe, need to be probably a series of shorter campaigns, more thoroughly curated and thought out in terms of when the next campaign starts up and then it finishes, and the next one, starts up and finishes. Not a rinse and repeat of the previous, right? Which is what a lot of people tend to do. So getting more segmented and challenging the segments to, in the market that you're trying to attract, and really pulling out the fundamental, the USP. What is the driver? What are you trying to sell here? Like, what's the development? What's the essence of it? What's it offering? you know. Again, we get stuck in these generalizations and just makes it harder for everyone.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I think, Mike, on that, and Paul, everything that was said is valid, I think. But in a situation like this, and I've been through these situations before, the brave will be rewarded. And saying that, I mean that people that try something different to stand out and above the rest in this marketplace will be the ones that are rewarded. So the developers potentially go reasonably early with their launches coming out of this pandemic and the lockdown. Maybe the ones that get the early sales that are pent up lockdown. I think in terms of the marketing strategies, the people that try something different, a bit brave, and they're not scared of falling over and making mistakes, I think now's the time to be trying something different and to be brave. You know, we've been sympathetic for a long time. We've been looking after our neighbours and our fellow colleagues and our employees. Now's the time to be brave and to be bold and to drive the economy forward.
I totally agree. You know, for us, even at Urban, I know it's a digital product, not a property development product. But coming into this whole thing, we had a three-step approach. First step, coming into the kind of corner of the crisis, reduce costs early, select the key project. The next phase, select the key projects that we're going to be focused on during the pandemic, and then accelerate out of the pandemic by deploying capital early in those critical projects that we're focused on. And I think the translation of that into a development cycle as well, of having reduced the marketing budgets early, select the channels you're going for, and as you said, John, be brave, and then accelerate out early because the buyers will be there and the spend won't be in market. So I think the opportunity is going to be there for sure. And certainly our new app went live yesterday in the App Store across both Android and iOS, and we're going to continue to invest because we believe that the market, while it's down at the moment, we're going to see signs of recovery in the coming weeks. Certainly our traffic's bouncing back as well.